Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome. It's Sunday here and I never been live before, so I thought I would try it. I've done a lot of Instagram live and I've done a lot of Facebook live, and I used to be really big on Periscope and I used to love that. And so I thought I would try this, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. You guys can tell me how I'm doing. So I thought I would answer some common questions that I get from you guys about carnivore. It is Sunday afternoon and I am just had a few more minutes. I have some friends coming over for dinner. So I thought I would take this chance to answer some questions. So if you guys have any questions, great. I have a bunch of questions that I got from other people on my social media. So if you don't know me, I'm Caitlin. I am a grass-fed girl. I have been food blogging since 2010. I'm also a holistic nutrition consultant, and I have been healing my own Hashimoto's with a paleo diet, also a keto diet, and more recently, as of 9 months, a carnivore diet. So it has been really helpful. My antibodies have gone down, and I have decreased my thyroid medication. I've also lost weight, so it's been really great, and I'm a big proponent of the carnivore diet because it's helped me with my sugar cravings. Even on keto, I was always wanting fat bombs and treats, and it was just a big mess. So I am just excited about the carnivore diet. So if you have any questions about that, I'm all ears. Thank you for watching. All right, so let's go through some of these questions that got sent in to me, and then we will answer any other ones that come in. So, all right, do you take any supplements on a carnivore diet? So I have worked with several health coaches off and on, and I wouldn't really worry about supplements. If you want to take some at first, you'll probably cut back as you go. So just take whatever you want to take at the beginning. As long as they're not food, like I wouldn't take flaxseed or something like that, or maybe algae, or, some things you just don't need anymore, like spirulina, for example, or something like that. But if you want to take your vitamin D, even cod liver oil, of course, that is food-based. I just don't think you need to take a lot of supplements, but you can decide over time. You don't have to cut them all the first minute because, they're not carnivore. Go with what your doctor says or whoever you've been working with. You don't have to just go cold turkey on your supplements. You can taper them off slowly at your own pace, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I know, it's summertime now, so I'm not taking vitamin D3, but I would definitely take that in the winter. You want to make sure it's D3. We really can't take in the D2 that's in the milk, for example. Some other supplements. If you've been carnivore for a long time, you might find, I know I've heard of a person having a folate deficiency. I don't know why that would be. But, if something comes up, of course, don't hesitate. If you run into a new condition or something like that, don't hesitate to not take something if you need it, but so just go slowly and use your intuition and what feels best for you. All right, how do you recommend getting started? Slowly or cut all the carbs immediately? Well, I started from a ketogenic diet, so, and I also did paleo diet for about 9 years, and keto diets also, like off and on, both of those approaches, and my keto was very paleo-ish. So if you've never done either of those, so I think I was used to being kind of fat adapted, meaning my body runs off fat. So if you're not used to that, it could be cold turkey, but if your why is strong enough, you can do it straight away, but if you want to ease into it, do keto first or do paleo first and see how you feel. And then you can go little by little. It's just you have to kind of know your personality. Like, are you somebody who can do something that, you know, hardcore and stick with it? Or are you somebody who's going to rebel if you pull kind of the rug out from under you? So, and also how strong is your desire to change? Is it so strong that you are willing to put up with anything? Or are you just kind of like dipping your toe in the water? Like, are you at a crossroads? Like for me, when I got Hashimoto's when I was about 30, around 31 or something, then I was just so scared because I heard that autoimmune diseases run in clusters and I just didn't want to get any more. So I was really determined, and I felt so bad at that point that I was really, really just ready to try anything. And I was going to stick with it because I just wanted to feel better. At that point, I was sleeping like 18 hours a day. I was just so bad off. Everything hurt. My whole body hurt. I was reacting to all the foods that I was trying to eat. It was like I had rashes and all my stomach was messed up. It was just a big mess. So, how strong is your why? That is how motivated you're going to be. But the biggest thing, I think, even with keto and carnivore, is your electrolytes. If you are not fixing your electrolytes, keeping on top of them every single day, you are going to be feeling terrible. That's where the keto flu comes in, especially if you're doing a lot of exercise or you're in the heat. I mean, it's just bad news. So you need to take a lot of salt, 2121 YG. You need to take a lot of salt and just really, really, I love the real salt from Redmond. And that is just, to me, is wonderful. I take about 2 or 3 teaspoons a day in order to get my electrolytes in balance. And if I'm outside, like for example, if I go to the beach or the lake or something like that, because here in Tennessee it's super hot. And so I have to take way more or I just feel awful, So I think when you have Hashimoto's, when you have a thyroid problem, you're already more susceptible to the heat. But with carnivore, I feel like I'm even more. I really didn't notice problems with electrolytes when I was on keto, but since I've been on carnivore, it's something I've really had to stay on top of, and especially in the summertime. So this is my first summer to do carnivore. Last summer I was more keto-ish. So that is the main reason you're going to feel bad. So just keep chugging those electrolytes, make you a saltwater drink. Anytime you feel bad, just take salt and then you're going to feel better. But I like to use like a real salt from the Redmond company, or you could do, if you go to Costco, you can buy some sea salt or Himalayan salt. Those are all fine. I just love the taste of Redmond salt. And when you're trying to ingest a lot of salt, the taste really makes a big difference. So thanks for watching, Patricia. Nice to hear from you. So, all right, let's see. Do I count calories? So far, I haven't. And everything I read and looked at says to not count calories, because you're looking for more of a hormonal reaction, not a calories in, calories out. I mean, we all know you can lose weight by just cutting calories, but from my experience, it's not sustainable, and it's not sustainable at all. And whatever you do, you'll just gain it back, because you really can't outrun hunger, and you can't fool your body. So I'm eating way more calories now than I was on keto, and I've lost weight that I never really lost on keto. So I am more, of course, carnivore is a type of keto diet, so don't get me wrong about that. Keto is, I think of paleo and keto kind of at the top, and then carnivore is just kind of a subset of those. And they're all healing approaches, and you can kind of start anywhere you're comfortable as far as where you want to start and see, and then cut back on your carbs maybe, and then keep tweaking. I I love High Colony Scout, love Redmond's real salt. I always drink salted water. I use a little new salt and I take magnesium. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I have my natural, this is my pantry right here. I have my natural calm right in there. And I love my natural calm. You can take the one, if you don't want the sweetened one, you can take the regular one, the unsweetened one, but I don't have that and I'm just going to use up the one I have. But yes, I love the magnesium and it's been helpful. But I found the salt, just the Redmond salt for me has been enough, but it's just I have to take more. I've also used a little new salt. I have tried the light salt, like the Morton's light salt. I haven't got, that's easier to find around here. I know my sister has used the new salt, I think. She's also carnivore, and she is like an electrolyte expert. So she's always yelling at me to take it more seriously. And, but yeah, those are great. I mean, I kind of get sketched out by the ingredients, and I know light salt has a bunch of weird stuff in it. I mean, not a bunch, but a little bit. So I'm just like, I love the ancestral way that the Redmonds has. All right, so they're starting to get busy here. All right, what do you think about the protein to fat ratio? I mean, I came into carnivore always thinking no counting. And so I was really just refreshed by that, because always on keto, it was always count this, count that. And also I came into ancestral diets on paleo, which is also no counting. So I've always been a no counter. I don't like counting because I feel like it makes me want to eat more, makes me more anxious. Because I come from a background of food restriction. I lost 90 pounds on a low-fat diet when I was about 22 on my Weight Watcher points. And, so I always have that baggage. I was always on a diet as a child. In high school, I was fasting. It wasn't really fasting. It was more like just not eating. And it was really kind of messed up food issues in high school. And so I just have a lot of baggage around all that stuff. And so I just love not counting. So, I mean, I love to eat more. I definitely eat a lot of fatty meat. I don't like, I like to eat the meat in the form that it comes in, but I buy fatty meat. I love brisket. I love ribeye. I love ground beef. So I don't really count, but I mean, I would be open to trying more fat. I mean, most days my fat ends up being like, as far as a ratio, I mean, I use Carb Manager. Some, not every day or anything, just every once in a while, just to see, because people always ask me, what's your ratio? So I'm usually about 65% fat and then, 30 whatever percent, 30, really bad at math, especially when I'm trying to think about other things. So about 65% fat. And, that seems like a lot to me. And I don't really add a lot of fat to my food. I eat a little bit of ghee in the morning and make like a ghee coffee thing. All right, let's see. So that's kind of what I think about that. But I mean, I know Paul Saladino has been talking about more fat and trying to get, so I mean, I need to track down some more like chunks of fat from like beef tallow and stuff. I've got a big bag of beef tallow from Whole Foods, but it seemed kind of like it would just melt. It wasn't like, it didn't have anything on it to keep it from melting, like to crisp it up and stuff. All right, so the next thing is I just started carnivore and I didn't get the keto flu with keto, but I sure did when I started carnivore. Yes, call me Scout. That was exactly my experience. I did not have ever keto flu on keto, but when I started carnivore, it was like, whoa. I had to sometimes hold on to like a table or something while I like drank my salt water. I definitely had to be aware of my electrolytes for real. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks, but then I started to feel more normal and kept up the electrolytes, but it didn't seem that it was as dramatic, Do you think there's any benefit? So this is Sarah VZ. Do you think there's any benefit to going carnivore from, so I guess you're talking about, I think you're saying high fat, low carb. Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying. If someone is already at a healthy weight and has good health markers, has no health problems, I mean, I don't think you would need to if you, I mean, like I said, I think paleo and keto are all healthy diets. Um, so if you feel good, I mean, it would just be if you wanted to just experiment. I mean, I'm not overly dogmatic. If I had felt, I mean, I felt good on keto, don't get me wrong, but I just wasn't, I always was always craving the treats and the sweets. Um, but my blood sugar was pretty, I mean, well, as far as like hypoglycemia, because I've always had problems like with hypoglycemia, always having to carry snacks and stuff. That was much improved by paleo, also much improved by keto. But it was just that nagging, like I want treats, I want to make sweets, and also I have weight loss resistance, I guess, from the Hashimoto's, and I could never lose the weight. And I was like steadily, just little by little, gaining weight. And so, I mean, I think it did help me maintain for the most part because I mean, I have obesity in my family. My dad had gastric bypass surgery in 2005, I think, and I know if I didn't control my weight with a low carbohydrate diet, I would be also 300 pounds or more. I mean, my dad's bigger, so but I would, as a woman, I'd probably be 300 pounds at least. I was 240 pounds in high school. So I know that you can go down that road and get there really quick. I can gain about 20 pounds in 2 weeks or something. So, all right, let's see what else. I use Remag by Carolyn Dean. So I guess that's a magnesium. I'm sure that's good too. I just always like ride or die, natural calm. That's the one I started. Hi, Zanera. That's the one I started using back in the day, and I just never really found another one. Okay, 2121 YG. I have a mental problem, addicted to sugar. Sometimes I eat to throw up. I feel very bad and depressed. I've been carnivore for 8 weeks, but I fall down to eat donuts, but I want to try again. I mean, that's really good. 8 weeks. I mean, you got to give yourself a pat on the back. Rome wasn't built in a day. Just get back on the horse if you have a bad day and, think about your why and, think about what it is, like your kids, being able to run with your kids, or, I mean, it has to be something stronger than just like, I want to fit in this size or whatever. I mean, for me, I was really scared, like maybe I would get MS or, I mean, I know what it's like to be stuck in the bed because you're so tired that you can't even move. I mean, it's scary. So my why was really strong. And I think that's what keeps me motivated to stay healthy. And it also makes me motivated to help other people. So just, give yourself another chance. 21 YG. You are doing so good. And, make sure and clean out that stuff out of your house. I mean, I know for me, if I have something around, if I make a keto treat or something like that, and it's just sitting in my house, then I'm going to want to eat it. But if I don't bring it in the house, then I'm fine. But carnivores really strengthen my resolve, like, because my husband still eats a lot of dark chocolate, and that's like my favorite thing is dark chocolate. He eats a lot of Halo Top, but I just lost my taste for that completely. So I think carnivore has made me a lot stronger in my craving, but I also don't shove my face into it. I don't go smell it. I don't take little bites. Also, something I love is fruit. Like I love fruit, especially in the summer, but I don't chop up watermelon and like smell it. You got to kind of keep a safe distance, peanut butter is another thing that I'm crazy for peanut butter. Well, I used to be, but I haven't had any peanut butter. And I think I have a jar in my fridge and I don't know. I don't think about it, but main thing is YG 21, make sure that you are not letting yourself get too hungry. A lot of times what I see is people restricting their food and then they are wanting sweets. So do not restrict. You need to eat a lot. I mean, when I started carnivore, I ate 3 meals a day. Because I knew that if I tried to restrict any of my food, I would fall off the wagon and I would go for something like peanut butter or chocolate or, nuts or so. So I was eating, 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast, and I was eating a pound of hamburger for lunch, and then a pound of meat for dinner, because I knew that was going to help me to stay strong and keep away from the things I was used to eating, like blueberries and strawberries. I love those. So that is what I bet you are trying to restrict your food, and that is making you want more treats and stuff. So try that. Try eating more. Because once you eat a pound of hamburger, I'm sorry, you're not going to be wanting anything. Patricia gets suet from a local farmer and heat it so it's fat. Oh, wait. So it's warm. So you kind of crisp it up. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I need to look for some more of that so I can I know I love when a lot of times with my steak, if the meat, the fat is not crispy, I'll cut, I'll leave it and then I'll put it back in the air fryer and then crisp it up, and then that makes it really yummy. All right, strict carnivore for over 2 months. This is Gingham Apron. Strict carnivore for over 2 months. Meat, salt, and water. So tired of meat. Occasional fish. I'd like to add in ghee this week, even though I'm not 100% yet. What do you mean 100%? I ate ghee from the beginning. I mean, I didn't do strict meat, water, because that was just, I still want to try it, but I didn't do, I just ate meat and ghee and butter, and I ate more dairy. I knew dairy is kind of a problem for me. I ate a little dairy at the beginning, and it was confirmed that it was really a problem, because if I got lazy, I'd just eat a package of cheese, or cheese sticks. Cheese sticks is my jam. But I didn't. I knew dairy was a problem, so I tapered that off slowly. But yeah, I think ghee is wonderful. It has butyric acid. That is really good for your microbiome, supposedly, asked Dave Asprey. So, I'm not worried about it, but butyrate is a good thing. So more ghee, the better, I think. If I'd like to add in the ghee, I don't know what you mean by 100%. Sounds like you're 100% carnivore to me. I do 75% and keto 20%. 5% bad girl now and then. This is Angel Shining. All my joint pain is gone. Haven't lost a lot of weight, but 11 inches overall. Well, that's great. It sounds like you kind of have a keto, paleo, a keto carnivore hybrid plan. And, if it's working for you, 11 inches, that's the great thing. You're focusing on the right things. You're focusing on body composition changes and inches lost rather than just the scale. And, focus on your clothes. I'm just trying to get in the light. I'm right under that light, so that's as good as it's going to get. All right. So, keep it up. And just as you go over time, maybe do less and less like keto treats and stuff. I'd say the next thing is try to eliminate the sweeteners from what you're telling me. It sounds like if you cut back on the sweeteners, maybe the cravings will go down, and then you'll be more carnivore. Oh, you're not 100% well. Gingham Apron is saying I'm not 100% well. Oh, well, I'm not 100% well. That's a pretty high bar. I don't know. I still take thyroid medication, and that's not my understanding of carnivore, is that you have to do it. I think if you want to do 100%, to wait till you're 100% well, you could be waiting forever. So, you also have to think about the mental aspect of it too is really important. If, like you said, you're getting really sick of meat, then you don't want to give up. So add in a little more variety of shrimp and ghee and collagen or, then maybe you'll give yourself a little more choices because, the mental aspect is huge. I mean, I did AIP, which is autoimmune protocol, for a while, and I found it to be very, very mentally isolating. And so I really did not get any benefits out of that because, I mean, also it had a lot of sugar, a lot of sweet honey, and a lot of carbs that are allowed. And so I thought that was also bad, but just so many rules about which spices you can have and all. And I don't seem to really react to the spices that were prohibited. So I just felt like that was really bothering me. And so I started to feel depressed because I couldn't eat with my friends and that kind of thing. So, I mean, the mental aspect is huge. You have to be social and all that kind of stuff. So that you have to balance those out, Gingham Apron. I don't want you to give up too soon because it sounds like you're getting a lot of benefits. Alan Sobey. Yeah, meat, eggs, dairy. I mean, it also depends on your goals. Some people can do dairy and eggs. I mean, eggs are a big sensitivity with the whites. But what I did was an 8-week egg elimination because I did a food sensitivity test. And it had me having a sensitivity to chicken eggs. So I ate duck eggs for 8 weeks. It was kind of hard to find. Turn this off. But I found it from a local farmer. You had to get there early and make sure. You could also order ahead of time, but I would always forget. So that helped because I could still have eggs because eggs are so quick and easy and they're so fatty so that, if you're looking for a way to change your ratio, your fat to protein ratio, you can add eggs. But anyway, so I did that elimination. I didn't see really any benefit. So I added chicken eggs back in after 8 weeks because they said, thank you. They said that was 8 to 12 weeks was the goal. I think I might have even done longer than 8 weeks, but at least 8 weeks. And so eggs can be sensitivity. So maybe take your time on that. Was it Gingham Apron? Yeah. Take your time on the egg. Maybe just do egg yolks if you want to add egg yolks rather than the whole egg. Let's see. Was somebody else? Oh, so again, the dairy. I mean, sometimes I think men, like I know my brother-in-law eats a lot of dairy and he's he's very, very slim. And so, it doesn't affect everyone the same way. But me, if I start eating dairy, I mean, I could have one piece of cheese like on a burger every now and again, and I don't think it would really affect me. But the problem is that if I eat one piece, then next thing you know, I'm at the grocery store eating cheese while I walk around the grocery store. So it's a slippery slope for me. And but for example, my brother-in-law, he doesn't ever gain weight and he eats a lot of dairy with his meat and stuff. And he eats a lot of like salami and cheese and stuff like that. And so, some people can handle it. All right. So you guys send some more questions before. All right. Let's see. Do you do OMAD? That's another question from online. So OMAD. So earlier, I'll tell you a story. This week, I did OMAD. I think it was today's Sunday, so maybe it was Thursday or Friday. I did OMAD. I was cooking for I'm making a carnivore, like a little guidebook about how to do carnivore. And so I was cooking, I made a T-bone steak and I made 2 at once because I was trying to do the photo shoot of the T-bone steak. And they just look so good. So I finished the pictures and then I was like, well, the other one's not going to be good later. It's going to be cold and whatever. So I was like, well, I'll just eat both of them. So then, of course, I was so full because they were like a pound each or maybe a little more. And so it didn't really feel good. I mean, I don't get OMAD because I felt like I ate more than I really wanted to. It was like I was stuffed. I mean, not like stuffed with carbs, but still like a little bit like I was just stuffing it in. And then, of course, that was about noon and then, or 11:30. And then I wasn't hungry the whole rest of the day. So I do definitely see how people do OMAD, but just trying to do OMAD, that freaked me out so much. Then the next day I was like super hungry, more from a mental aspect, not from a physical, just more like, oh my gosh, you're trying to starve me. And I was getting all these like negative messages from my from my inner voice. And it was just like a negative spiral, you know? So I just didn't feel good about the whole OMAD, and I've tried it off and on. So I think it can work if you don't have a lot of negative baggage around fasting and restricting food and all that stuff. But if you do, I don't know if it's a good thing for you or not. All right, so we got another question. Do you prefer hamburger or steak? 2121. YG. I really like both a lot. I think my wallet prefers hamburger, but my mouth prefers steak, which is ribeye. I have become a big fan of New York strip, and the T-bone, like I said, were great. If you didn't know, that is a New York strip on one side and a filet on the other side. So it's great. But hamburger, I love to buy grass-fed hamburger meat, and I eat that at least once a day, like 1 pound of hamburger meat per day. And I usually cook it as little patties in my air fryer. That's just to reduce the mess. So, and I put a lot of salt in that, and I never get sick of hamburger patties. That's what I'm having tonight. So for my friends, they're coming over. They're going to have like the buns and, all the stuff, but I'm just going to eat my hamburger meat. So I got to make extra, make sure they have enough for them. And I bought this one thing of like Kobe beef that looks kind of interesting. So I'll try that too. It's ground beef. It's like Kobe ground beef. So we'll see. Looks pretty fatty. All right, on the way of this is from Barb O. On the carnivore way of eating, do you really need to eat organ meats? I mean, like I said, I came from an ancestral, from a paleo perspective. That was my first like entry point. So I was eating organ meats from the get-go. And I think they're good. I like them. I mean, when I was a kid, me and my dad used to go through the drive-through and we would eat fried chicken livers. So I don't have a negative connotation with liver. I mean, it's very filling. I don't have to have a lot of it, that's for sure. But it doesn't gross me out the way it does some people. And also I think there's a lot of techniques to cook it where people are missing the boat kind of. And also, chicken liver is much more mild than beef liver. So if you hate beef liver, like you should, because it's pretty freaking gross. I mean, I can eat that too. But if that's your starting out, you're going to hate it because it's really strong. And also, the more it's been sitting around, the stronger that yucky taste gets. It was funny, my nephew the other day, he's 4. We were trying to give him some liver. And he goes, it tastes like poop. And we were like, just drink some water, It's just me and my sister. So we weren't like forcing him to eat it, but we were offering him like some treats if he did eat it or whatever. But he ate it and it was fine, But sometimes he's just kind of dramatic. But we just want him to eat a bite or two. So I think it's really, really good for you. I think you should continue to experiment with it and try different preparations. Like I like to cook my chicken livers. I get them from a farmer. So they're pastured chicken livers. They're much more fresh. Then I saute them just lightly with a little bit of ghee, about a tablespoon, and I have about a pound of chicken livers, and just kind of cook them to medium. When you overcook them, they get super dry and gross. And so, that's, if already you've made them super dry and super overcooked, it's going to be gross. Now with beef liver, what I would do is I have a recipe in my cookbook. If you don't know, I have a cookbook. It's a very meat-based cookbook. I mean, it's not carnivore, it's a paleo cookbook, but there's tons of great recipes in there. It is for sale in the description of every one of my videos. It's a great book called Mediterranean Paleo Cooking. Anyway, we marinate the beef liver in some vinegar and some cumin and paprika and salt and pepper. And then we grill it. And the vinegar really takes out the off taste of the beef liver. And grilling it is really gives a new flavor to it too. So if you have, try that with beef liver. If you haven't, it's really good. You can also pan fry it if you don't want to grill, but it just tastes even better that way. So if you need to, I do think you should try to eat it. If you can't take take the pills. A lot of people take the pills. I think it's harder to get the amount that you need in the pills. I mean, my goal is to eat about 3 ounces a week. But it's really not hard for me. I love it. Especially pork, there is a lot of Braunschweiger. I know U.S. Wellness Meats, that's not pork, but they make Braunschweiger, the U.S. Wellness Meats. You can order that online. It's really tasty. You can there's a lot of Braunschweiger with pork at the grocery store. That is good. Just read the ingredients, make sure there's not like corn or soy or sugar in it. But that's really tasty. You can try pate. Some people eat that with pork rinds, or you can, you can put it on a boiled egg, for example, because those are kind of plain and it'll spice it up. Okay, do you know how long it takes the stomach to digest protein? I know it's a lot less than it does take to eat, like to digest spinach or broccoli or all those things. I mean, the thing is I don't know the exact time, but think about when you eat some indigestible carbs like spinach or broccoli or other seeds or nuts or things like that. They come out almost in the same form that you ate them. But can you recognize the meat that you ate? No, because it's already been, it's been absorbed, for the most part. So to me, that just tells me that things are getting so much more broken down and there's so much more bioavailable when you are eating meat, and there's so much less waste. And I used to be the queen of bloating. I was bloated all the time, and I ate, I just thought, oh, I'm so healthy. I eat all these vegetables, and that's why I'm like having gas and I'm so bloated all the time, because I'm so healthy. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense, And now, I haven't even had past gas in like 9 months that I've been carnivore. And within 24 hours of going carnivore, I was not bloated anymore. It was amazing. So I just think something happens when you go carnivore that really changes your life and your digestion. And I just think you're absorbing so much more of your food and your nutrition than you were before when you're eating a quote unquote healthy, diet with all those. Especially, I know women always try to eat tons of vegetables. Men have more of an innate sense of that's not necessary, but I feel like women really bite that bullet and eat the veggies a lot. All right, how much meat do you eat per day? I eat about 2 pounds of meat a day. And I notice if I eat less than that, it might be more, especially when I first started, because I would also eat breakfast. So I might eat eggs for breakfast and then still 2 pounds of meat, or maybe I would eat 8 ounces for lunch and 12 ounces for dinner or something like that. But then I would eat also breakfast. Now I've kind of figured on a kind of a 2-meal thing. So I eat about 10 o'clock, and then I like an early dinner, like 5 or something like that. But like I said, tonight I have people coming, so I'm not gonna eat at 5. I'm gonna wait till 6 when they get here. They better get going and try to fix their food. But anyway, so about 2 pounds a day, but like I said, it took me a little while. After about a month or so, I kind of found my groove with that. And so the 2 times a day is probably so far is what I like the best. All right, I love steak. I like hamburger too. I would like it better if I could eat it a little more medium pink. I just can't make myself eat a burger not done. Oh, it's a burger. So I can, yeah, I mean, I'm about a medium person. I can't eat it when it's a texture thing. I just like the texture of medium when it is really soft and bloody. It's just, I don't know. I'm not there yet, but I can eat stuff more pink than I used to, that's for sure. But I don't like the texture of raw meat. I like it a little more cooked to medium, pretty much. I mean, I can do medium rare a little more than I used to. Okay, I like beef liver now. I didn't before carnivore. Well, good. See, you changed a little bit. That's awesome. But I mean, like, for example, my husband is from another country. So in his country, they are a little more farm to table. So they actually can get the animals that day right to the table. So he brought a beef liver back to me and we ate it and it was so fresh. And I tell you what, it has almost no flavor, that kind of older flavor or whatever. So the fresher, the better. Barb O, is there a minimum or maximum of beef consumption? I mean, if you're really worried about red meat consumption, carnivore might not be for you. And maybe you're not, you're just asking that. But I find that every other kind of meat just does not interest me. And if I do eat something else, it's not really satisfying. Like if I eat, sometimes my husband loves seafood, so we'll eat a big seafood dinner or something like that. And it's okay, now and then. But if I really want to be satisfied, deep down, then I want my beef. Yeah. No, there's no counting on carnivore. Like I was saying, that is the beauty of it. It's just kind of eat till you're full. And I just, I love the freedom in that. And, I would study more, Barb, if you're concerned, study more about the health benefits of beef. And, I think also from an ancestral perspective, we would have eaten these big woolly mammoth type animals that are probably the closest thing we have to beef nowadays. So that was probably what we ate for millions of years, and they're pretty fatty. And, that's probably all we would have eaten. Maybe if we lived near the coast, we would have eaten some seafood, and then some salt and stuff. But, this idea of this varied diet and having hundreds of different kinds of foods, it's just not, to me, it's not ancestrally, doesn't make any sense. I mean, especially when you're trying to survive and just not die, So you wouldn't have been like, well, I'm not going to eat too much red meat today. You didn't even know what red meat was. That was just food, So, whenever you have a question like that, just think back millions of years. What would the people have eaten? Even what did your great-great-grandparents eat? That will help you to be more comfortable with it, I think. Okay. Yeah, Kelly Hogan is great. I like her story. So don't worry. All right, guys. Well, it's been about 45 minutes. I better get going. Like I said, I have some people coming for dinner. We're going to watch Big Little Lies. So should be fun. So thank you so much for participating in my first live on YouTube. And, if you want to, maybe I'll come back on with somebody else and add somebody. I don't know how to do that, but we'll see. So make sure and subscribe. I have a new video coming out. I was trying to make a video about my Atlanta vlog. Like I went to Atlanta and I ate a bunch of cool stuff. So I was going to make a video of that. And then, I mean, it's almost done. And then tomorrow I am doing an interview with the paleo pharmacist. And so that will be good and coming up soon. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss any of my videos. I really appreciate you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.